Hi everyone, I'm Haley. This is Boo. This is Bitter Kitten Crafts. I am a knitter and a crocheter and a maker and a painter and also a nanny, and I live in DC. And today we're going to talk about everything I made in November. So I made a lot of stuff in November. I finished a bunch of stuff that's going to be little gifts for Christmas. So I'm not, oops, Boo's tail is causing havoc with my coffee. I'm not going to show my gift knits in this video. I'm going to show them, I think, after Christmas in like their own video, so there's no spoilers. But I am going to show my personal knitting today, so it might be kind of a shorter video than normal, but I think it'll be still fine. I also went to the alpaca festival in November, so those are the alpacas you saw at the beginning, and that was so much fun. I got a beautiful treasure from it that I'll show you at the end. But that being said, I only have one FO. It is the Magic Heel Socks by the Autumn Acorn, and this is a really cool pattern. It is a ribbed heel, so it is like a $3 pattern, but I'm not going to give it away. But yeah, it's a ribbed heel. It's really easy. It's what I use to learn how to knit socks and just get comfortable with knitting like the tube and the toe. And this pair I started in 2022, and I brought it with me on my trip to Cincinnati for Thanksgiving because I really wanted to get it off the needles so that I can start something I'll show you in a second. But the one thing about this pattern is it uses a ton of yarn, to be honest. This is 100 grams of yarn. Yes, that's a dropped stitch. No, we're not going to talk about it. It's fine. I'll fix it later. This is 100 grams of Patons Kroy. So granted, Patons Kroy does run a little like short, I guess. It's more of like a sport weight. It's like 350 instead of 400 plus yards. But this is a lot of yarn for a pair of socks. So that is one thing to consider, but the pattern fits super well. So it's, yeah, the magic heel, and this is, I don't know, some random color of Patons Kroy that was in my stash from Lord knows how long. It's pretty comfy and squishy though. I like Patons Kroy for that. It does kind of hurt my hands. Is that true? Anybody else? Patons Kroy, when I knit socks with Patons Kroy, it takes me so much longer than when I knit with regular sock yarn. I think because the yarn's thick and it kind of hurts. But the reason I brought these on my trip to finish them is because I wanted to start a pair of Christmas socks. So I started this on my trip, and it was a 9-hour drive, so I had like no problem finishing this one sock on my trip. And this is West Yorkshire Spinners in the colorway Hollyberry. So it's a self-striping yarn. It is a Christmas yarn, but it inexplicably has orange in it, which I like don't super love, but I think they're still really cute. And that blue, I'm gonna do my first Afterthought heel. So that's where my heel is gonna go. And this only used 23 grams of yarn for the whole sock. And this is like, I don't know, it's red that was in my stash from the Christmas sweater I'll show in a second. It's like Cloudborne Fibers, I don't know, some yarn from Webs. But yeah, it's gonna be my first Afterthought heel. I guess technically it's like a Forethought heel because it has I knit in my yarn. If you're looking for a good tutorial on that, like just Google, I'll link the one I used below, but I just Googled Forethought heel and I found an awesome tutorial that was super easy. And you just knit it in and then you can pull it out and then knit your heel the same way you knit your toe. So that should be really easy. And I'm going to make another pair of these socks as a gift, but to be perfectly honest, it might be like for next Christmas because I already have 4 more gifts to knit and I have 20 more days until Christmas. A couple more, 23 more days till Christmas. So yeah, but that's my one FO, and then the one project I have made a lot of progress on. So moving on to my whips, I do have 3 whips. 2 of them are small, one of them's big. So let's start with the most exciting one. This is my Christmas sweater. Oh, that's the back. This is the front of my Christmas sweater, and I'm in love with it. I finished the first sleeve. I did use green for the cuffs and red for the ribbing. It's really long because I wanted to get all of the repeats in on the body, but I think when I showed it last time, I was like on this green stripe or something. I had really gotten like barely any of it done, and now I finished my first sleeve, which is glorious. I'm totally gonna finish in time for Christmas. I only have my second sleeve left, and I'm going to a Christmas party on December 17th, so like a week before Christmas, so like 3 weeks-ish from now, and I think like one sleeve in that time should be no problem, I hope. I did use, so the only yarn that I feel like is really special in this is Pink Peppermint from Woolen Vinyl. I got the Knitting is Metal Christmas box last year, and this was the skein of yarn that was in the box, and it's their like 2-ply sock base. So the other yarns are, this is Rising Tide Fiber Company. It didn't have a color name, it was in a mini set. This is Undyed White Sparkle from Wool to Die For that I had in my stash from like 11 years ago. This green is Cherry Tree Hill Farm from New Jersey, but it's from the thrift store. So yeah, this Pink Peppermint is honestly the complete star of the show, I feel like. I'm so happy with how this sweater is turning out. But yeah, the body is like literally super long, but I'm kind of like excited. I think it'll be cozy. So I haven't even said the pattern. This is the Cozy Classic Light by Jessie Maed. I also have 1 trillion billion ends to weave in, but we're not gonna worry about that until after. So yeah, this is the Cozy Classic Light by Jessie Maed. This is the 7th time I've knitted this pattern. I'm in love with it, but I'm not gonna allow myself to knit it in 2024 because I have enough of them. Most of them are tees, 2 of them are long sleeved. They all look different, but I still knit it 7 times. So we're like moving on from that, hopefully. It's a really easy pattern, but the increases are really pretty. They're lifted. So this is like this was the first sweater I ever made, like 4 or 5 years ago, and now it's my favorite pattern of all time. But yeah, I'm knitting the size 4. I'm knitting it on size 4 needles. If you ever have any questions about this pattern or you want to make it, definitely message me. One cool thing that I like that I chose to do on this one is that this is actually sport weight. So this is Knit Picks Stroll Sport that I got at Upcycle, which is like the craft reuse center near me, and it really gave a lot of structure to the cuff and the ribbing in a really squishy nice way. So I think that's really cool. So the next time you see the sweater, it'll be finished, hopefully. So that is a glorious work in progress. It's almost gonna use up all 4 skeins too. I think partially because I made the body so long, but I'm really, the white one, I only have 20 grams left. So that's like pretty cool. I'm happy to use up all the yarn. So one other thing I'll show that's kind of a long-term project. If you watched my crochet video, you saw that I'm making a huge granny square blanket, and I've been working every month on making a couple squares, and it's self-striping sock yarn held double, most of them. So this one, I made 3 in November. I'll just show them real quick. This is just like a gray micro stripe yarn. This one is yarn I got at the Indigo Hippo while I was in Cincinnati. They have like a scrap yarn shelf, so I just picked this one off it for like 50 cents. And it's clearly some sort of like either slime or Halloween color. It was like green and white and black striped, so the square turned out super cool. And then this is yarn that I dyed myself in like 2017, I think. It's really pretty, but I didn't really have any use for it because it is like a cotton wool blend. So I dyed it with Kool-Aid, and now it's gonna be my blanket, so I kind of love that. But that is, each square is 50 grams, so this is 150 grams of yarn out of my stash, which feels really good. I have 30 squares to go out of 64. So I'm over halfway. Couldn't be more excited to be over halfway, but then I also have to sew it up. You guys know how it goes. But anyways, 2 more whips. So I went to Cincinnati for a concert right after Thanksgiving.
I'm lost, where do I go? I can't find my way back home.
And it's like one of our friends here. He is from Cincinnati and he was playing a show in Cincinnati. And so we drove up to go to the show. It was so fun. But if you guys go to a lot of shows, you know they don't usually allow metal needles in the concert venues often. So I had my this sock on the needles, but I also had this project from like other concerts I've been to in October, and I brought this with me. These are Legwarmers, simply because they're on wooden needles. So this is the first one. And this yarn is Farmer's Daughter Fibers, Foxy. It's like their silk single ply blend. And it is really, really pretty. I'm holding it double, and then this is Madeline Tosh single ply too. But yeah, I'm holding it double. It's just like a 4x4 ribbed tube, basically. But I did do knit front back increases after I did the cuff, so that it'll be kind of like drapey over my shoes. I know it like literally looks like nothing right now, but the idea is there. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't super matter. I'll just rip it out. But I started my second one. I'm halfway done. We got to the show super early, so we were chilling for like a long time, like 3 hours before the show started, just like hanging out. And I got a lot of done on my little leg warmer. But yeah, it like truly doesn't look that much. Like it's literally a rib tube. So yeah, I did like 2x2 ribbing, and then I did knit front back so that I could do 4x4 ribbing for the body of it. And then I'll just decrease back down and do my little cuff, and I'll be done. So hopefully those will be like another FO, but it's not, I don't know, it's kind of underwhelming. Whatever, no pattern for that. So my last FO is the simple thing. So if you guys are on Ravelry, you'll know that the Sophie scarf and Sophie shawl were like a huge thing. Still are, I suppose, like a couple months ago. And I was not gonna spend any money, frankly, to knit like a triangle. There's this awesome pattern that's sort of a dupe. It's called The Simple Thing. I'll put the name below. It's really just a triangle. But you do this cool cast on to make the end an I-cord, which I really liked learning how to do because it makes it look super neat and tidy. And I am using Lana Gatto Class. So this yarn is 20% Angora, 80% non-superwash merino. It's been in my stash for 7 years, I think. I've had it since 2016. So it's kind of like felted a little bit onto itself. Let me see if I can show it better. It's like felted together a little, kind of. Yeah. But I think it's just because it's been in my stash for so long. It's super, super, super soft. I've never worked with Angora or like Angora blend before, but they do still make this yarn. I looked it up. I would really recommend it. It's really soft. And I'm using the needles recommended on the ball, which is a 10.5, but it's like a worsted weight yarn, but it's really filling in the gaps super nicely. So this is gonna be actually a pretty big project. This is a quarter of it. So I'm using 4 balls of this yarn. This is the entire first ball. And then I have one more ball of this. And then I'll do the decreases with this lovely, 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 lovely dark brown. So I'm like not a beige girly. I know a lot of people, it seems, on Instagram right now are like beige girlies. And I'm wearing beige right now, but that's beside the point. I love color. I love like pops. I mean, you saw my Christmas sweater. That's kind of, I love to wear a color. So this beige knit is really, really unusual for me in terms of my making. But I'm really actually surprised to find that I kind of love it. It's really, really soft. It's looking luxurious. It's gonna go with a lot of things. So like maybe I'm coming around to the beige fixation, but honestly I don't think it's gonna last because the next sweater I want to make is not beige, I'll say that. But I mean, it's beautiful. Like, I get it. I get it. I mean, I like don't want to get it, but I get it. So this project might be not finished by the end of the next video because I am, like I said, gift knitting. But I kind of love that it's in my little rabbit bag from Miak. I got this at Vogue Knitting in New York, and it's like, I feel like perfect because it's the only Angora yarn I've ever used, and it's in my little bunny bag. So that's kind of cute. But that's all my whips. That's all my single FO. That's not even technically an FO because I have to fix my stupid dropped stitch. But I do have a couple acquisitions, which I haven't, I think, shown that much in previous videos. I haven't really bought that much yarn in 2023. I have like plenty of stash to work through, as you saw from some of it's old, like 2016. So a big goal of mine has been to work through my stash, and it's going pretty well. In November, I used 820 grams of yarn, which is, I feel like, awesome. All of it was from stash, and I hope to kind of keep that up in 2024 and really use what I've got, feel good about using what I've got, embrace like the colors that I chose in past lives I've lived, and kind of see what I can do with them in fun ways. The Granny Square blanket is really helping burn through stash because, like I said, that was 150 grams of yarn, so it's pretty exciting, to be honest. But I did go to the Maryland Alpaca Festival, and it was awesome, and the alpacas were so cute and soft, and I did get some really special yarn. So I think it's so special. So this is from Gurdy Run, I'll type it out, but it's from Gurdy Run Woolen Mill, which I tried to look them up, and they don't have a super comprehensive website, to say the least, but this is the info. And this yarn is Sari Tweed. It's 85% Teesdale from their farm, and merino wool, and 15% Sari silk. So I think you can see the Sari silk there. I think it's showing up pretty nicely despite the lighting, which, like, apologies for that. But it's like little yellow and red and blue and purple bits. And I think this is gonna make the most beautiful beanie. It's so soft. It's like tickling my nose a little, but it's so soft. It's a worsted weight, but it's 4 ounces. So this is gonna be like plenty to make a cuffed beanie. And I love this red. I'll try to put a picture of it in like the sunlight because it really does glow. I've never heard of Teesdale wool. If anybody knows anything about Teesdale wool, definitely like link it below or something like that, because I'm curious about it. It's so soft. This was a special purchase. My birthday is on Thursday, and I might cast this on for my birthday. I might have to wait and just chug through some gift knitting, but this is like an imminent cast on because this color, I've never seen anything like this before. So I'm really happy to find it, and I'd love to knit a sweater. They had this blue one that had like green and pink like sari bits, and I really wanted to make a sweater out of it, but this was the budget was not there for that. But yeah, this is a stunning yarn. I also got 2 books. One of them is from, we went thrifting in Ohio. It was amazing and glorious, and we found some really cool stuff. This is one of my favorite finds from the trip. This was published in 1985, and it has some glorious stuff in it. Like, look at this sweater even on the front with those little baubles, and then look at this one on the back with the collar. Holy cow, I want to make some of this stuff so bad. Look at this photo work. How cool. So I needed this book. I'm certainly gonna make something out of it. I'm gonna have to do some grading because the 80s were not like what I would consider to be a size inclusive time, but the ideas are there, the patterns are there. Like, it'd be really cool to make that sweater on the back, even with or without the ruffles. So this was such a cool find. It was like $4. Yeah, I love 80s 80s fashion. Not like all of it, obviously, but the stuff in this book, this was like a gem of a find. I was so happy to find this. So cool. I also got a second book. This was an early birthday gift from my guy, and this is, I think a lot of you guys are familiar with this. There's like 52 weeks of easy socks, or of regular socks. There's 52 weeks of shawls, and this is 52 weeks of easy knits. So there's a couple sweaters in here I'm actually already looking at. There's like balaclavas. There's some beautiful gifts that one could make in here. It's a lovely book so far. So like even like this sweater is super cool. Yeah, it's I'm really grateful to have received this as a gift. This is a beautiful book. It also looks really nice on my shelf because it's pink, like, not gonna lie. That is like all I really have on my plate right now because I am entrenched in gift knits and my Christmas knits. But thanks so much for watching. Have a great holiday if I'm not on YouTube before then, but I think I probably will be. I have like a couple videos planned. I'm like really excited to share my knits with you all, and I'm really grateful that you guys have been watching. So thank you so much.